Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Living with Marcia and his ashy lips. How are y'all? What is going on? What is going on? Today, I'm actually going to be smelling the 5 new releases from NICHE4ALL, one of my favorite fragrance houses. You guys know I use them to do random giveaways. I've actually been able to do 3 for the 1,200 followers or subscribers, whatever they're called here. Blenders is what I call y'all. I've been able to do 3 of the random giveaways. You guys know I don't necessarily publish who I give the random giveaways to. They're more than welcome to post when they receive it if they wish, but I don't. Hey, what is going on, mi amigo? What's going on, John? FRAG-tastic voyage. I'm going to be talking about the new NICHE4ALL fragrance releases. So the first 2 that I'm gonna be smelling, and mind you, before coming here, I took a shower, didn't put any fragrance on, but I do still have a little bit of the soap that I use to wash. Hey, what's up, Sense and Thoughts? You're coming back tomorrow. We shall be waiting for you with a bated breath. So this one is called Sandal Jasmine. I don't know exactly which ones they are inspired by. Hey, what is going on, man? What's poppin', Sense and Thoughts? What's happening? Talk to me. Tell me about your life, about your day. I haven't posted for like a week. So I did notice that you stopped. Where did you stop at? I think you did like 3 of the 5 days, I think, right? But you didn't complete the week that you said you were going to complete. Yeah, I noticed, sir, but I do also know that the married life is quite a busy life and that, you know, unforeseen occurrences do pop up and then you have to do things. It's the beauty of marriage. But you were missed. Understand that. All right, so this one is called Sandal Jasmine, and the notes for Sandal Jasmine are rosemary, bitter orange, red pepper berries, lavender, neroli, jasmine, ylang-ylang, vetiver, sandalwood, and patchouli. I think maybe 5 of the 7. Yeah, so you see, I did notice you stopped. I got burnt out is all. I almost deactivated. Oh, you know something? That's interesting, John, because that does happen. I've been conversing with several people who are feeling burned out. And, you know, some are thinking about deactivating or signing off of for the FRAG-COM or Instagram. You know something? I think that... Can I tell you something? I'll wait for your answer. Hey, Latifa. How are you, my beautiful? We are talking about NICHE4ALL, the new 5 fragrances that they released. I'm about to smell Sandal Jasmine. A full year of posting, man. It takes its toll. It certainly does take its toll. I understand that. I understand that. Latifa. It does take its toll, John. So, I mean, I'm waiting for you to answer if I can tell you something. Posting daily, 365 days in a row. Yes, in a row. Yeah, right, Latifa. So I'm excited. I know that there are some clones or inspirations of other fragrances. When it comes to NICHE4ALL, I don't even call them clones or inspirations. I call them improvements. Thank you, John. So what I think, because a lot of people have been having this feeling, and I think it's because there is a sense of like you must post, and that sense of urgency, it's not imposed by the outside, it's imposed by us, right? Because our standards, when I say us, I mean as individuals. So if as individuals our standards are consistency, then guess what? We're gonna put that pressure on ourselves to be consistent, when in reality no one in FRAG-COM is putting that pressure on you, you know? And I realized that because, so the way that I started posting was I literally did every day, probably for 4 months, I made a episode. And sometimes I'd make 2 episodes for the day. And I just post. But the reason I didn't feel burned out was because it was therapy for me. You haven't tried them? But yeah, okay. Oh my goodness. So we'll talk, Latifa. So what happens is you get burned out because you add a severity to the posting. You add a, and when I say you, I'm not talking about just you, I'm talking about the general you, right? The us. I'm gonna use the phrase we. We add too much of a value, too much of a weight, too much of a currency on our posting, right? So because we add so much of a value, we're hoping that we're gonna get some type of a, not reciprocity or, you know, but we're hoping we get something back. So let's say for the post, I put 100% of my heart, right? I'm hoping to get 100% back. And if what I get back is 2%, then I feel like it's a failure. But guess what? What if we just post what we're feeling like posting at the moment? You know? What if we're just sharing us with no expectation? You know what I mean? And so let's say today, I don't feel like sharing Marcial. I just don't feel like sharing him. And I'm not going to. So I don't. That's okay. You know? When I decide to come back, those people that are there for me and with me are going to be there for me and with me. Like, think about it, John. I missed you, but I made sure, I've learned not to put pressure on the people that I miss. You know, before I'd be like, hey, what's up? I haven't seen you post. I learned not to do that because that's creating an anxiety on the person. I learned that, so I don't do it anymore. But when they come back, I let them know that I miss them. You know what I mean? I post when I can, and I try not to put too much pressure on myself. Very good, Latifa. I just want to share my love and passion and have fun. And that is the key. That is the key, Latifa. Absolutely. Hey, what is up, La Jolie's 2 cents? I missed you. I love you. How are you doing? What's going on, one rude boy? I'm trying to wave at you guys and it's not letting me, so I'm waving at you in real life. Next time, pressure me, Marcial. Okay, so are you okay? So that's good to know. See, that's why these conversations are good. So you are the kind of person that can thrive on pressure. You see? So if that's the case, then, and you've given me the permission, you know, there are witnesses here that have heard you say that I can pressure you. And if that's the case, wonderful then. I'll hit you up. If I notice you're not posting, I'm going to hit you up and be like, yo, then we got to do something. What's popping? So guys, thank you so much, John. I appreciate that, all right? And I hope that this mini conversation was refreshing. I am smelling the 5 new releases from NICHE4ALL fragrances. This one is called Sandal Jasmine. So you can imagine what it smells like, right? Sandal Jasmine. Okay, so what do you picture Sandal Jasmine smelling like? I'm gonna let that dry, although it hit me here, and I got citrus for whatever reason, and I got jasmine. I got citrus, jasmine, and I got citrus, jasmine, and sandalwood. Duh. This smells really good. And I got something green. I'm gonna go over the notes again. Cedarwood. Cedarwood always gives me green. Okay, so the notes are rosemary, bitter orange, red pepper berries, lavender. I definitely got the lavender. Is it a creamy jasmine? I'm gonna give it a few more seconds to dry, but it possibly could be because of the sandalwood. It has neroli, jasmine, ylang-ylang, vetiver. I picked up the vetiver. So the vetiver and the cedarwood are giving it that greenness. And patchouli. This smells very good. This smells very, very good. It's not creamy. It's not creamy. I'm gonna tell you, it's not a creamy. It has, because creamy would imply that it's smooth, right? This is not smooth. If this was music, it'd be syncopated. I will talk to you later, Martial. You know clone houses ain't my thing. But you know what might be a thing? The way I describe the man. No, it's okay. Thank you. No problem. I love you a lot, John. So this is very good. This is very good. The lavender is somewhat prominent right now on my nose. And then again, I'm holding it up close like this, right? So what I'll do is at the end, I'll be able to talk a little bit more. With neroli, I would imagine it's actually bright. Right? You would think with the neroli and the bitter orange, it would give some brightness. But it doesn't feel bright. It doesn't feel bright. It is citric. It is lavender. It is sandal-y. The sandalwood is not officially present. Not like it was at the opening. It's kind of like dwindled. Okay, so you know what? This will become a creamy. Yeah. Yeah, it's totally becoming, yes, it will. So to answer your question, it will become creamy. I guess the opening is where it's kind of macerating and connecting and, you know, and then it becomes creamy. But I can tell you it's good. I like this. So that was Sandal Jasmine. The next one is called Blackberry Rum. Now, growing up when I was younger, there was Blackberry Rum was pretty popular. You know, you could get it cheap, you know, and it was, would you get? Yeah, you'd get tipsy. But I loved drinking blackberry brandy. It's lovely. I like it. So now that it's become what it should become, yes. The answer is yes. Can you smell that? So Blackberry Rum has clearly Blackberry Rum Saffron. It has clary sage, leather, oud, patchouli, musk, and labdanum. So that's what this one has, Blackberry Rum. Let's see what it smells like. So of course it should be boozy, right? It should, if it's talking about blackberry brandy, rum, sir, rum, yes, it has rum, one road boy. Now I don't know if it's Caribbean rum, but it has rum nonetheless. So, okay. Just off the opening, I love it. Just off the opening, I love it. Okay, so it is boozy. Just off the opening, I love it. This is, okay, it has a connection with something I've smelled before that was boozy like this. I just don't remember the name of it. But this is, this is precisely what it says. Blackberry Rum. It smells great. If you like boozy fragrances, well, at least this is the opening. I'm going to give it some time. But it's so good. Totally up your alley, one rude boy. Totally up your alley. This smells divine is what I will say. It smells divine. Yes, I really like it. And you can see that oil concentration. So this one has a higher oil concentration than the Sandal Jasmine. Sandal Jasmine doesn't have, you know, it's shiny, but not that shiny. This one, on the other hand, is very shiny. And I think that's the oud that it has. It's the oud. It has the clary sage, the leather. This one is wonderful. This one is wonderful. I really, really like it. So as far as openings go, Sandal Jasmine gets a 32 out of 10, which is an 8.2. The Blackberry Rum gets a 40 out of 10, which is a 9.0. Oh my goodness, this is, yeah. So just based off of the opening, the must get of the two is Blackberry Rum. Of the two, the must get. So now we're gonna go into the 30. So NICHE4ALL, they do sell the sample size decants, and for everything they have buy two, get one free. So let's say here, I would have purchased two, one of these is free. So that's something I have to mention also. So Johan, he knows I love his company, and I always use his company for random giveaways when it's out of the United States, simply because I've tried so hard to send giveaways out of the United States, and it's crazy. Even to Canada, I get charged, even though I pay the shipping from the company. Once the product gets to Canada, then I get a call from there, and I have to pay an extra, which is a very high amount, extra thing, you know. So what I'm trying to do is find companies in the countries that I can do business with and have them, you know, pay them and have them send the purchase to the random giveaway winner. It's so difficult, you know what I mean? So guys, when a person says that it's like only USA or only USA and blah blah blah, don't get offended. It's not because they're cheap or they don't care. It's because shipping is so hard, bro. Shipping is so hard. Yes, because it's a flammable product, absolutely. It's a flammable product, and it's considered dangerous because of the alcohol content. So that creates a whole other controversy. It's redonkulous. It's redonkulous. Hey, what's up, Noel? So now let's talk about vanilla oud. So let me tell you, this arm is smelling very good. Of the two, clearly the most prominent is the Blackberry Rum, but both of them are really good, and the sandalwood jasmine has become something that is so delicious, so inviting, so alluring. And so now we're gonna smell vanilla oud. Vanilla oud. Vanilla oud is bergamot, grapefruit, sea notes, apple. I say apple for apple. Geranium. So this one's the one that got me, because once it started talking about geranium, nutmeg, coffee, cinnamon, rose, lavender, agarwood, that heart is everything that I love. Okay? You're welcome, One Root Boy. You're absolutely welcome. It has amber, cypriol, gaiac wood, patchouli, oak moss, and vanilla. So I'm gonna read that again, guys, and I would like for you to tell me what kind of fragrance this is by the description. So the top has vanilla, oud, bergamot, grapefruit, sea notes, apple, citrus. The heart has geranium, nutmeg, coffee, cinnamon, rose, lavender, agarwood, lavender. And then the base has amber, cypriol, gaiac wood, patchouli, oak moss, and vanilla. So what genre of perfume has a citrus opening, a lavender heart, and oak moss base? So try and figure out which one that is. Try and figure out which one that is. Citrus top, lavender heart, oak moss base. And I smell so good. So I'm gonna spray it as I'm waiting for the answer. Oh, do you guys want me to give you options? So, oh, this smells like I hoped. Ah, the opening would smell. That smells absolutely delicious. Oh, this one is the For Everyone fragrance. This one is the For Everyone fragrance. So I mentioned what notes are on here. So it has a citric opening, a lavender heart, and an oak moss base. So what is it? This smells absolutely good. I don't know if this is supposed to be like an Aventus type cologne, you know, but it's there. It's there, but better. So it has citrus opening, lavender heart, oak moss base. What fragrance, what genre of fragrance has a citric opening, lavender heart, oak moss base? Oh, this smells so good. This one is definitely one that is mass appealing. Anyone can wear it. It doesn't matter your age. You're gonna smell good. Okay, and the answer is, drum roll, please. Oh, Genie404, you got it. You got it. You absolutely got it. It's a fougere. Fougères, that the traditional fougere is that citric opening, lavender heart, oak moss dried base, and that is a traditional fougere. Yeah, she totally got it. Yay, Jeannie. Oh my goodness, Jeannie. So you know what? I'll make that a random giveaway if you wish. So hit me up on my DM and we can chit chat. But that was very good. And this does smell good. It smells really good. It smells awesome. So right now, the best of the three are the Blackberry Rum, Vanilla Oud, and I would say Vanilla Oud and Blackberry Rum are on the same level as far as awesomeness. Whew. Smells that good. It smells that good. Uh-oh. Okay, doesn't want to come out. There you go. So the next one I'm going to smell is called Lavender Citrus. Lavender Citrus. Hey, so what does my regular episode song say? It says, we'll learn together and grow together. And that's the goal, right? To be able to learn together, grow together, be present as much as possible for each other, right? That's part of blending. That's part of blending, my dear Latifa. So now I'm gonna spray the lavender citrus and let it dry. Lavender citrus. Ooh, I just bit into a lemon. So lavender citrus, yep, you see? Lavender citrus has lemon, orange, and bergamot. That is citrus, citrus, and citrus. Climbing through the ranks. There you go. Yeah, oh, there you go. Thank you, One Rude Boy, for singing along with me. I appreciate that. The heart is lavender, rose, verbena, and floral notes. The base is vetiver, sandalwood, and patchouli. This smells good. I get the rose. I actually get the rose and the lavender here. Once the citrus is calming down, I get the rose, I get the lavender. This smells really good. I would say that the opening is a lot more feminine leaning, but it is absolutely delicious. Oh my goodness. Let me tell you, this lobby is going to be smelling so good. So good. So I like it. All right, so the Vanilla Oud scores a 44 out of 10, which is a 9.4. Wow, look at that shine there, guys. Wow. And I gotta give the lavender citrus, I gotta give it something in the, the opening is very nice, very citric, but it's become something on my skin that is not something I'm crazy about. So I would give it a 25 out of 10. You know, because I haven't gotten to the full dry down, but it gets a 25 out of 10. Oh. All right. So now we got to the last one. And the last one is called Amber Saffron. Amber Saffron. You know, we know Marcelina, right? She loves saffron. But we also know Mike Jones, right? Mike Jones. He doesn't like saffron. So I find it fascinating, and that's why I always say every nose is like a fingerprint. None are the same. You know, you have people who know how to pick really good fragrances, but their noses are different. And one may like a note and the other one may not. And so when I saw this one, I immediately thought of them too. Because they're the two people that I know that are at the polar opposites. One loves saffron, that's Marshmallow, and one hates saffron, and that's Mike Jones. So I was like, I would like to see what they would each think about this one. And I don't know what this one is a clone of. Amber Saffron. I'm gonna spray it on the back of my hand and let it dry. This one, wow, this one opens up very, very feminine, very, very dress up, elegant, hair did, you know. Oh, this is polished. This is, This is polished and classic. I don't know which one this one is, but this is a very classic smell. This is one that can be worn by anyone, any woman, anywhere, any age, and be elegant. Yes, everyone has a different taste, right? That's what I love about it too, Jeannie. Jeannie, is it Jeannie or Janie? Jeannie, that's what I love. Oh. Okay, but it quickly becomes unisex, but it's a beautiful opening. Oh my goodness, I am loving them all. I am loving them all. The only one that gets not a low grade, it gets a 75, 7.5. It gets a 7.5 is the lavender citrus. That's what that one gets. I'm not crazy about the lavender citrus. The other ones score 40 or higher. Boom. So, Johan, you hit it out the park. Okay, you hit it out the park. And the fact that I gave this one 7.5 doesn't mean it's bad. All it means is that it doesn't appeal to me as much. Oh, Jeannie, I got it right the first time. Awesome. I have a friend that I consider, like, I call her Big Mama. When I was a baby, she was a teenager and she'd carry me, and we're friends till today, you know? So that was that for the fragrance smelling. Now, my next question is, would you like me to read you something? Would you like me to share with you an excerpt from Slavery by Another Name? I would love to read to you from Slavery by Another Name. Hey, this filter, how do I look? Oh, whoa, what is that? I guess I'm a cartoon now. Hi, do you want to build a snowman? I love these filters, they make me laugh. Thank you very much, thank you. So I shall commence the reading for you guys. From where we left off, which is page 3 from the last time I was reading. I was a reporter for the Wall Street Journal, exploring the possibility of a story asking a provocative question. What would be revealed if American corporations were examined through the same sharp lens of historical confrontation as the one then being trained on German corporations that relied on Jewish slave labor during World War II, and the Swiss banks that robbed victims of the Holocaust of their fortunes? My guide that day in the summer of 2000 was an industrial archaeologist named Jack Bergestresser. Years earlier, he had stumbled across a simple iron fence surrounding a single collapsed grave during a survey of the area. Bergstresser was mystified by its presence at the center of what at the beginning of the 20th century was one of the busiest confluences of industrial activity in the United States. The grave and the twisted wrought iron around it sat near what had been the intersection of two rail lines and a complex of mines, coal processing facilities, and furnaces in which thousands of men operated around the clock to generate millions of tons of coal and iron, all owned and operated by U.S. Steel at the height of its supremacy in American commerce. Bergstresser, who is white, told me he wondered if the dead were forced laborers. He knew that African Americans had been compelled to work in Alabama mine prior to the Great Depression. His grandfather, once a coal miner himself, had told him stories of a similar burial field near the family home place south of Birmingham. A year later, the journal published my long article chronicling the saga of that burial ground. No specific record of the interments survived, but mountains of archival evidence and the oral histories of old and dying African Americans nearby confirmed that most of the cemetery's inhabitants had been inmates of the labor camp that operated for 3 decades on the hilltop above the graveyard. Later, I would discover atop a nearby rise another burial field where Green Cottenham almost certainly was buried. The camp had supplied tens of thousands of men over 5 decades to a succession of prison mines ultimately purchased by U.S. Steel in 1907. Hundreds of them had not survived. Nearly all were black men arrested and leased by state and county governments to U.S. Steel or the companies it had acquired. Here and in scores of other similarly crude graveyards, the final chapter of American slavery had been buried. It was a form of bondage distinctly different from that of the antebellum South, in that for most men and the relatively few women drawn in, this slavery did not last a lifetime and did not automatically extend from one generation to the next. But it was nonetheless slavery, a system in which armies of free men, guilty of no crimes and entitled by law to freedom, were compelled to labor without compensation, were repeatedly bought and sold, and were forced to do the bidding of white masters through the regular application of extraordinary physical coercion. The article generated a response unlike anything I had experienced as a journalist. A deluge of emails, letters, and phone calls arrived. White readers on the whole reacted with somber praise for a sober documentation of a forgotten crime against African Americans. Some said it heightened their understanding of demand for reparations to the descendants of antebellum slaves. Only a few expressed shock. For most, it seemed to be an account of one more important, but sadly predictable bullet point in the standard indictment of historic white racism. During an appearance on National Public Radio on the day of publication, Bob Edwards, the interviewer, at one point said to me, "I guess it's really no surprise." The reaction of African Americans were altogether different. Repeatedly, they described how the article lifted a terrible burden, that the story had in some way, partly because of its sobriety and presence on the front page of the nation's most conservative daily newspaper, supplied an answer or part of one to a question so unnerving few dared to ask it aloud. If not racial inferiority, what explained the inexplicably labored advance of African Americans in U.S. society in the century between the Civil War and the Civil Rights Movement of the 1960s? The amorphous rhetoric of the struggle against segregation, the thin cinematic imagery of Ku Klux Klan boogeymen, even the horrifying still visuals of lynching had never been a sufficient answer to these African Americans for 100 years of seemingly docile submission by 4 million slaves freed in 1963 and their tens of millions of descendants. How had so large a population of Americans disappeared into a largely unrecorded oblivion of poverty and obscurity? They longed for a convincing explanation. I began to realize that beneath that query lay a haunting worry within those readers that there might be no answer, that African Americans perhaps were simply damned by fate or doomed by unworthiness. For many black readers, the account of how a form of American slavery persisted into the 20th century, embraced by the U.S. economic system and abided at all levels of government, offered a concrete answer to that fear for the first time. So that's page 5. This book, let me tell you, I love this book. Again, I haven't finished reading it, but I'm well into it. And what I love about this book is that it helps to explain a lot of things, you know? Hey, what's up, Sci-Fi? It helps to explain a lot of things. Let's get in touch soon, my friend. Okay, you got it. I have to go, Marcel. Have a good night. Good night, Trill. So what I love about that book is that it does that. It doesn't explain everything, but explains a big part of why is it that African Americans particularly were not able to reach what they could have reached. And the reason was because there was this whole arrangement made by the businesses and supported by American government to keep African Americans enslaved, but by another name, you know? So that was it. So that I hope you guys enjoyed the reading. What did you think about the reading? Did I do a good job? I didn't do too much of an accent, but I tried to switch it up a bit to keep it a little entertaining. What's going on, Tiwa Day? And whenever I see your name pop up or I think about your name, I always say, Tiwa, that's a unity. Yeah, so we were able to smell the 5 new fragrances from NICHE4ALL. The book sounds really interesting. Thank you, Jeannie. It is. It's absolutely interesting. I enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot. I had been reading, when I first started reading this book, I was simultaneously reading another book that coincided with it. You know, thank you so much, One Rude Boy. I'm glad you enjoyed it. That means a lot. I try and make sure I give, I read with heart. You know? So of the 5, the one that doesn't have my most attention is the lavender citrus. That's the one that doesn't have most of my attention. And then the ones that have my highest attention are the vanilla oud and Blackberry Rum. These 2 are the ones. Pas de quoi, mon ami, pas de quoi. Je suis très heureuse that you liked it. So I'm gonna let you guys go, and hopefully we'll see each other tomorrow. If they ask me to help them out and cover, I shall have another Living with Marcial. I'll sing you out. What should I use to sing you out? Should I use this? Goodbye, my lovely fragrance blenders. I'll see. Thank you, Jeannie. Thank you, Rude Boy. I'm taking pictures to make sure I give shout outs to those of you that were here. so good though. Oh, don't you love smelling good, guys? Like it really, it's good to smell good. Let me make sure I get everybody. So let me tell you something. That citrus vanilla is good to layer with other things because I'm smelling it with the other ones and I'm not mad. I'm totally not mad. You soon. Ciao, ci vediamo. I love you guys from the heart.